Hey, what's going on, guys? FullFrontage here today, bringing you guys a Clash Royale video, and we have a sneak peek at the newest card coming, which is going to be Skeleton Dragons. Now, why does it have an asterisk next to it? So you guys are going to kind of help dictate the balance of the card. We're going to take your feedback and pass it on to the dev team and see what you guys think this card should be like. So Supercell is giving us a little bit of an early sneak peek to this new card, so we can kind of give feedback on how the card can operate and what stats it can have. So if you have any suggestions after watching some of the gameplay in this video, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section down below. But let's go over its first stats before we jump into gameplay. So it is Skeleton Dragons. It spawns in 2 dragons that are fairly weak. You can see at tournament standard they only have 440 hit points, which is comparable to the old Magic Archer, so it will in fact die to Fireball. The other thing to look at is that the area damage is 142, and in comparison to a baby dragon, that is 133. So it does 9 extra points of damage, but they are a lot more fragile, and there is 2 of them. So back to the Skeleton Dragons, they have a hit speed of 1.7, whereas the Baby Dragon has a hit speed of 1.5, so the Skeleton Dragons do attack a little bit slower. Their range is going to be the same, their movement speed is going to be the same, and they will attack air and ground, and this time they are a common unit. So in my opinion, the way it works as is, it seems like a pretty okay card. I think it does like slightly there's 2 of them, right? So you can get split lane, they're gonna die to fireballs, but it's really gonna make fireball bait strong. So I expect to see Royal Hogs and possibly 3 Musketeers dominant with this. In the gameplay that you're gonna be seeing, I kind of just subbed out Baby Dragon in Dex and put the Skeleton Dragons in just to see what kind of replacement they work as. But nonetheless, let's jump into some gameplay. Alright, so we're in some gameplay, so big thank you to Legendary for helping me out recording some games. So the first match, this is the Minor Lava Hound Inferno Dragon deck with Skeleton Dragons in for the Baby Dragon, and you can see Legendary is kind of doing the same thing here. He has Lava Minor Balloon, and instead he's going to have the Skeleton Dragons in for a Baby Dragon as well. So you can see right here, they actually do a really good job to Barbarians, and they spawn far enough apart where other Skeleton Dragons or Baby Dragons won't be able to splash onto them. So creates a little bit of a difficulty in terms of counter splashing with the units. The Wizard might be able to hit it. Those are some interactions that I didn't test, but Wizard isn't really meta right now, so I don't know, maybe we can try that later on. If you guys want to see that, let me know in the comment section below, and maybe we can do something a bit later on. But so back into this match, a Legendary did get some pretty good damage on that first push. He had arrows for the guards. The Skeleton Dragons were locked onto the tower, so we ended up going in with a Lava Hound push. I assume he just has like a minor balloon cycle deck, but then he actually throws out the Lava Hound, and that catches me off guard a little bit. So I go in with the poison here onto the Inferno Dragon. I just got enough elixir to throw the miner down, but I didn't want to go into it because he had just played the Skeleton Dragon, so I wanted to save up some elixir to be able to defend this push. So we can see, look at the Skeleton Dragons, they dish out quite a bit of damage, and then I get my miner out too late, but thankfully the tower actually focused onto the much weaker Skeleton Dragon, and you can see Baby Dragon, Skeleton Dragon very comparable in terms of splash damage when a unit is in front of the tower. So it looks like it's going to be really good. And then when I saw the Miner and the Lava Hound, I thought he was kind of running a similar deck to what I was, and then the Balloon came out, and then that threw me off again, and the Balloon was able to get a connection there. I could have thrown the poison down possibly, and been able to take that Balloon down a little bit quicker, but I thought the Inferno Dragon might have done enough, and it just didn't with that zap coming through. So we end up taking a big hit on the right hand side. I have the Barbaro going down to tank, and then you can see right here both Baby Dragons actually focus onto one Skeleton Dragon, so it looks like they're a little bit staggered. And one of our Skeleton Dragons just stayed far enough back to not get aggroed, which was super nice. So there definitely is a comparison into how the baby dragon mechanic is, as well as being able to split lane with the skeleton dragons. Skeleton dragons are going to provide a ton of split lane value, and I picture them working really well, like I said earlier, in a fireball bait deck. Alright, so for this next matchup, I again just subbed out baby dragons for skeleton dragons in this golem deck. So it's a golem lightning deck, and right here I try to go with the split lane just to see how the mechanic works. I didn't do any split lane in the last game, so I want to try split lane in this game and kind of see what happens when a baby dragon's going to be able to lock on, or skeleton dragon's going to be able to lock onto the tower. But a good EWIS placement right there is actually able to shut them both down fairly quickly. Again, the skeleton dragons don't really have a lot of health. They only have 440 health, so they will die to fireball. This was actually a Clus Magic Archer King Tower activation. I pulled it forward. The Magic Archer was getting a ton of value, and I was trying to figure out which way I could pull the Magic Archer to hit the King Tower. So I decided to pull it right on top of the E-Wizard, or the Ice Wizard, and it just shot through. It has that 11 tile range, so was able to activate the King Tower there, which set us up for some pretty good defense, especially with this Ram Rider coming in, being able to get pulled to the Goblin Cage, and then the King Tower being able to shoot it. So we have a Brawler going down the left-hand side, and look at that, the Royal Delivery with, I think a Baby Dragon got a splash in there, or Skeleton Dragon got a splash in there, because the next time Legendary actually played the Royal Delivery, the Skeleton Dragons stayed alive, so one splash plus a Royal Delivery will kill Skeleton Dragons. And we see right here, this is really good Magic Archer placement from Legendary. He put it right on the front, so with the tornado, it actually gets caught like against the river, and I won't be able to pull it across, so the Ice Wizard was just slowly chipping it away. So that was a key Magic Archer placement, if you guys weren't aware of that mechanic with the Magic Archer. So the Bandit's going to come down on the left-hand lane. I just throw the guards out and just kite that Bandit off to the side. And so far, Legendary has quite a bit of damage on that right-hand side, solely due to the Magic Archer. His Magic Archer placements have been crazy, so we'll see if we're able to pull out this victory. EWIS is going to come down there. It is going to lock onto the tower for the first shot, and then I tornado everything back so that Ram Rider raged up doesn't get a lot of damage. And then we have a pretty decent sized push. The Ice Wizard actually, thankfully, goes behind the Golem, and we get huge lightning value right there, and we're able to get a big push going with the Ice Wizard down. The Skeleton Dragons coming through. Again, you see the Royal Delivery coming in, not able to kill the Skeleton Dragons. So that's what I was talking about. I think one of the Skeleton Dragons in the earlier interaction actually, of his side, got a clip onto my Skeleton Dragons, and when the delivery hit, it actually killed them like instantly. So Royal Delivery is going to be a great counter to Skeleton Dragons, depending on if the stats kind of stay the same there. So I just let that Bandit go on the left-hand side, and again, Legendary getting huge Magic Archer value onto our left-hand side tower, but I get a clutch lightning down. Royal Delivery comes in, it takes down my Ice Wizard, and then we just go in for a massive push. That Golem has so much health, and then we have the Skeleton Dragons coming through. I actually tornado and activate the King Tower, but it didn't matter because we were able to tornado and get that splash damage from the Skeleton Dragon onto the tower. Alright, so for the third and final game, we're rocking the Graveyard deck with Bomb Tower, and of course, instead of Baby Dragon, we put in the Skeleton Dragons. So at first I thought he was running Expo with the Skeletons, the Ice Spirit, and then the Log coming out. And then I see the Knight come down. I'm thinking, is it still Expo? I wasn't really sure at this point what to expect. It could have been Graveyard, it could have been Graveyard, it could have been, I'm brain farting so hard right now, Balloon. Jeez, wow. Anyways, so I get the log down. I actually misclicked the log, so I'm not able to get chip damage onto the tower. I just roll an Ice Spirit in the back since he's logging on the left-hand side. We go with the Musketeer. Then the Mortar comes down, so I toss out a Bomb Tower right here. Bomb Tower is going to be able to take care of that Mortar fairly easily. And then I'm just going to go with a Knight in front of this Musketeer, so we're able to get a little bit of chip damage right here. But then he just tosses the Knight. We get the Poison down. Poison actually makes pretty decent work of the Baby Dragon. It takes about 6 ticks to take down that Poison, and then he goes in with the Mortar. I actually don't have enough Elixir. I spent a lot of Elixir on that push. So the Ice Spirit comes down, and then I get the Musketeer down just in time before the Mortar is actually able to get another shot off. So really good timing from the Musketeer. He's going to end up going with a Knight here to block my Musketeer shots from getting onto the tower. And at this point, it didn't even click with me that he had a rocket. So you'll see here a pretty big mistake on my part. So it's heading into double elixir. So what do you do when you're heading into double elixir? Well, you get ready for a graveyard push. So I go baby dragons on 2 lanes. He throws the mortar down in the opposite lane. I get the bomb tower going out over here. I'm trying to think of what I should do, and I just tank the skeleton dragons, and I just go for a graveyard instantly. And then he tornadoes, not able to activate the king tower, but the knight comes down, able to defend. We get a lot of damage here. So musketeer going on the right. I placed the knight a little too early, and I'm not able to kite those skeleton dragons off to the side, but the mortar is still aggro to the knight in this push. I think this is going to be the game here, but he gets log, he gets ice spirit. Look at the value log he got. He took out like 7 skeletons, and then he has a lot of pressure on the left hand side, and I get a little bit more chip damage here, but I start to try to pile things up on this right hand side and just go super aggressive. And then the mortar actually gets 1 more shot onto the tower here. Log's gonna come through, so he's getting really good chip damage, making it close. And then tornadoes doesn't activate the king tower. I actually have nothing really in hand to tank this mortar. And then the skeleton dragons come out, so I place the knight down in the back, and then I go with the poison, and then he's cycling so quickly that I'm not actually able to get another graveyard push. The knight comes just in range, and the mortar gets another shot off. I panic throw a log just so the mortar doesn't get another shot. And then he tornadoes the musketeer to the opposite lane, which is heads up, and then I misplay the bomb tower, so I have to play the knight and the skeleton dragons while the bomb tower is tanking. And then I decide to switch things up a little bit, so I actually thought I played the graveyard there, and then the rocket comes in and destroys my entire push, but I didn't. I thought that was the vital mistake that I was going to make. So the bomb tower comes out right here, and the knight, I just throw the knight down to try to tank this skeleton dragon shot, and then he starts slowly chipping away. So we go graveyard on the left hand side. He gets a knight down to tank, and tornado actually takes about a quarter of the health off of the skeleton dragons. I throw the poison down just to try to take care of the skeletons so we get some chip damage, but the skeleton dragons actually do a really solid job. And then this rocket was so clutch. If that musketeer stayed alive, I actually would have been able to probably get another push off and win, but he goes in with the log, he tosses the rocket over, and I just can't dish out enough damage in time. So that last game was super close. So guys, that is going to do it for this video. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the skeleton dragon down in the comment section below. What do you guys think about it so far? What changes would you guys like to see made to it before it comes out? Let me know your initial thoughts on skeleton dragon. What sort of decks do you guys think it'll work well with? But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe for more content, and don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you guys don't miss any Supercell updates, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later. Peace out.